Luke Goblin, good evening. Bori, good evening. Hi guys. How is everybody? Just fine, Saturday evening. Is it a fine evening? I just had the visions of that bit when like Bilbo Baggins says to Gandalf, he's like, it's a good day. He's like, is it a good day, or is it a day to be good, or are you wishing me a day for goodness? I don't remember the quote, but that popped into my head when I said I hope you're all having a fine evening. How is everybody? Marius, good evening. Hold on, I can't actually see chat on my left hand monitor. I need to put chat on this other monitor. Oh, they're sign into chat. Everybody time, I swear to you, I have to sign into my own chat. What is that about? Give it a second. Okay, Marius just sat down to build some stuff. Good timing. Hello Marius, Lewis, good evening. Phil, good afternoon. Michael, good afternoon. This is your first hobby you've done in weeks, apparently, Marius. You slacker. Good to see you getting back into it. I was spraying a few guys today, actually. Sprayed like 8 jump intercessors. I actually only have like 10 jump intercessors finished, so I got 8 more on the spraying table at the moment, and I was spraying a few Sternguard. I'm going to be slapping some paint on some Sternguards tonight, that's for sure. And I was spraying this Librarian. This is Chief Librarian Tigris of the Ultramarines. I have converted him. He has no longer any Ultramarines U's on his body. He had 5, I think. He had a U on his knee. I have filed that off. He had a U at the top of his staff. I have covered that up with a little Blood Angels thing. He had a U on his chest piece. I have covered that with this little Blood Angels thing. He had a U on this shoulder pad. I've replaced this shoulder pad with a Crimson Lord Blood Angel shoulder pad. So that's 4 of the U's he had on his body. Where was the last one? Oh yeah, and he had a U on the top of his banner. So Tigris has left the Ultramarines. Well, at least this version of him has. So I've replaced all of the 5 U's that he had on his body with Blood Angels things. I did this last year, right? Like I did or maybe not last year, a couple of years ago, I did the same thing with Grimaldus. So like I've got a Grimaldus, and he has had all his Black Templar bits removed and replaced with the glorious Blood Angels bits. Oh no, it wasn't Grimaldus I did it with, sorry, it was Helbrecht. I do have a Grimaldus. I mean, I probably did it with the Grimaldus as well, to be completely honest with you. I did spray this guy today, but the rain came on, so I'm just quickly catching some of the areas that I missed with the spray, and then we'll get some colours on him. I need to catch, there's a couple of bits of the Sternguard that I missed as well. I was distracted today when I was spraying, and I spent too long being distracted and not enough time spraying, and then the rain came on. Isn't that just the way? Apparently Tigris, am I saying Tigris wrong, am I? Tigerius? I don't know. I have an Ultramarines friend that called him Tigris my whole life, so I'm probably going to be stuck saying that, even if that's not the correct pronunciation, just because that's the pronunciation I already knew. Evening Campbell, how are you? Have you put your Hounds of Mordecai on eBay yet? Or what the hell are you doing with them? Do you know, that's one pet peeve of me, is I hate characters where they have these big long capes behind them and you cannot get to them. I mean, I can, because I have a source light right here and a magnifying glass, I can see that cape, but that cape is never going to be able to be painted because it's all obscured, and I don't do sub-assemblies because that is more, for me, sub-assemblies feels like more hassle than it's worth. I just make the model and then paint it. I mean, I guess I'm not trying to win Golden Demon, right? And even if I was, I don't know if I would do sub-assemblies, because God, life's too short, in my opinion, for sub-assemblies. Every time I do them, they turn out badly. So I just don't do them. This is why you don't glue them to the base. Yeah, well, don't logic me, I guess. No one will be able to see the cloak. No one else except me is holding it under a magnifying glass. It will be totally fine. So, let's let this dry. I'm probably going to paint this guy blue. So I don't know why I'm finishing off the red base coat, but I have finished it off. You made me get Blood Angels over Orcs, says Luke Goblin. Well, yeah, Blood Angels are better than Orcs, so that's a good choice. I did put a Sanguinor head on this Sternguard. I feel like I need to use my new Sanguinor heads. I don't really know where I'm using them. So this Sternguard got a Sanguinor head. But yeah, I've tried. Like, I always spray my models white, and then I give them a base coat of meth red. And one time I was like, right, I can't be bothered with this. I want to see if I can get my models done quicker. So I decided to not give them the base coat of white and just spray them meth red. And then, like, as I was painting it, I was like, oh my god, these guys, if you base coat white, it does give them this like level of vibrancy. It does give their coats above it a level of vibrancy that you don't get. So I ended up, the one or two times that I actually tried to skip the white coat, I ended going back and, like, I had a half painted model and I just went back and sprayed it white, and I was like, god damn it. Me trying to save time. It doesn't match the rest of my army. I guess having that white coat underneath does just make everything a little bit brighter or something. So, smash the like, says Green Fox. Yeah, I'd appreciate it. I got like 400 likes or something on the stream earlier this week, which was bonkers. And you can see, right, that video from earlier this week has like 4,000 views in like 3 days. I think it came out on Thursday night, yeah. So like a bunch of my videos are lucky to get 1,000 views. So 4,000 views in 3 days is bonkers good. So if you did press the like button on the stream, or did watch back the stream on Wednesday night and press the like button, then I do super appreciate it, because you know, that really does help me out. Thanks so much. 2 Scoops is painting Bladeguard. Well, I am going to make some more Bladeguard 2 Scoops, because I think I have 10, and I think the reason I've got an odd number is because I bought that Conquest magazine. Remember when you got like a couple of Bladeguard in the magazine or something? So I think I must have got like 6 with Indomitus, I bought 1 set of 3, and then maybe I got like the magazine. I think I have 10, maybe I have 11, maybe I'm lying. Maybe I need to check that, but I know I definitely don't have 12. So I think I must have 10 or 11. So I think I'm going to get one more set of Bladeguard just to get up to the 12, because right now it does seem that Bladeguard are a very competitive option. And I mean, I've played Bladeguard a lot. I've taken Bladeguard now to probably like 4 or 5 tournaments. I enjoy playing Bladeguard. Usually if push comes to shove, I play Bladeguard before I play Terminators. Lewis is going to kit bash Grimaldus to look like the fan film Armageddon. I must admit, I haven't seen that fan film. Maybe Thursday is a better day for streaming, or it would have been the content. It's why everybody makes the rumor content, Marius. Everybody wants to know about the latest, newest thing. The latest, newest thing is always the hot stuff, and yeah. So I do what I do on YouTube because part of it is I enjoy it. But I mean, part of it is a business that I run, or I operate, or whatever you want to call that. But yeah, no, I totally get it, right? Because it's like, you could make the best video in the world. Like, I've made a bunch of videos about, like, secondaries, for example, and I know if I make a video on secondaries, it will not do well. I've done like 5 videos at this point. Every edition, there's a new chapter approved. Every edition, I do a video on secondaries about chapter approved. Videos on secondaries just do not do well. I guess, like, there's only, like, maybe 1,000 people that actually want to see a video on secondaries. It's not a super popular topic. But I mean, I'm probably still committed to doing that video, because that's what my channel is all about, is like making useful, helpful content for people, right? That want to play Blood Angels to like a higher level competitively. So yeah, it is what it is, right? Like, I'll make that video, even though I know I could just jump on and make like a rush rumor video that will do 10 times the views, right? Not to say I won't ever make rumor content in the future, like, but yeah, it's not something that I strive to. I get it though, right? Like, so yeah, it'll just be Thursday night's video did so well because everybody wants to know about the new points changes. Yeah, no, I think that's what I was trying to say. Is like, it's a depressing reality as a content creator that, like, you actually don't control your own destiny in that sort of sense, right? Like, Games Workshop, like, if Games Workshop came out tomorrow and released a new Blood Angels model, he's super good, like the Primarch, oh boy, you know, I'd be eating pretty for a week. But yeah, it's a weird one. That's just the reality of it. People want to see the new stuff. I get it. I'm still committed to doing what I've always done, which is make videos to help people, or that's what I do. I do the reverse slap chop. I start light and work my way to darker colors. Yeah, I'm not really slap chopping. I'm just doing base coats. But no, I get you. You mean by spraying white, you would start. You would. I don't know. I think spraying white is a good way to start. I don't know. Your Blood Angel Space Marine MFF review is the best, says Espana. Dude, you're very kind. I appreciate that. I don't know if it is the best, but I appreciate that. Didn't you get a Heroes in the chapter box? Yeah, I've a squad of company heroes. What were we talking about? Chat, I am crazy. Am I crazy to be hyped about Vanguard Vets? I already have a bunch, so I'm not worried about them being phased out. I was thinking about running Vanguard Vets in my next Blood Angels list. I'm thinking at least 2 squads of 5 or something. I was going to build a new Blood Angels list probably this week. It's probably going to be a very MSU focused Blood Angels list, right? Because I think that is what is going to be strongest at the moment. So like lots and lots of little units. I might try and get an Impulsor in there. I was trying to think, like, I know I don't really like Vindicator tanks, and I've never done the double Gladiator tank combo, but I do own 2 Gladiator tanks. They are fully painted, they are ready to go. Maybe they just need transfers on them, but they're definitely painted. So, I was half thinking, Joe, I really like this helmet. This is going to be the leader of my Sternguard squad. So he gets one of these helmets with the reef. This came off one of the Firstborn Blood Angels upgrade kits. Pour one out for the Firstborn Blood Angels upgrade kit, because the Firstborn Blood Angels upgrade kit is like 1,000,000 times better than the Primaris upgrade kit, I swear to God. So yeah, I was thinking I'm going to make a Blood Angels list that has a lot of jump infantry. And maybe like double Gladiator Lancer, just to try and keep the tank cost down. I might even do double Lancer and a Ballistus. But I'm definitely thinking anything I can do to keep the points. And like I said, I don't know if I'm kind of done with Vindicator tanks. I've played Vindicator tanks to 2 different tournaments now in 10th edition. I don't mind them. They're just not my favourite sort of unit. To a certain extent, Space Marines were being carried by Vindicator tanks, I feel like. So I'm curious to see if new Blood Angels still need to be carried by Vindicator tanks. Hey Nico, good evening. Most people don't want help tactically, they want reassured on all their choices. Yeah, like they want validation on their choices. I think that's fair. Sometimes I want validation on my choices. You know, like I'll ask about my army list. I'm not perfect. I quite often get an army list together in like the last 50, 100 points. Can be quite difficult to fill, you know, like it happens to everybody. Reckless Idea says, even John, you've been talking a lot about Plasma Inceptors be good in Angelic Inheritors. Any advice on how to use them? Yeah, so I think you need a score of 6. I think you want to try and put them somewhere obnoxious. Like you really want to deploy them at maximum range, so 18 inches away from the enemy. But you want to put them in a position that, like, they're difficult for the opponent to target them. They're also difficult for the opponent to charge them, but they're going to get line of sight on something that you really want to kill. Right? So there's like 3 things there. Like, make it difficult for your opponent to lock them down and shooting, make it difficult for your opponent to charge them, and make sure you get line of sight and in the range for all of your guys, right? And then I think you want to Oath of Moment that target, right? Because then you'll reroll all hits and you'll reroll all wounds because their plasmas are twin linked. And I think you probably, if you've got the CP for it, you probably want to pay the 1 CP to give them the sustained hits. So you get 12 hits, rerolling all hits, with sustained, rerolling all wounds. AP3, 3 damage, right? Like, that is a lot of damage potential. And I think you can use that to pick off units that normally you wouldn't be able to get access to, right? Like, the enemy's got a fight first unit hiding behind a wall, cool, well, your Inceptors just pop in an obnoxious little spot and just blow the living crap out of them, for example. Like, that's what you want to do with Inceptors. I personally do not play Inceptors. I don't know, like this week I had Hellblasters this week. I rolled 3 1s on the Hazardous, and then on a 3-up they shoot again. I didn't roll a single 3-up. I apparently have very bad rolls when I'm using Hazardous weapons. So I don't play them, but I think that's how you elevate your Angelic Inheritors list to the next level. Like, you use those Inceptors to be obnoxious, to come down in anywhere they're weak and blow away units. Probably want to focus on units that you can just completely wipe. Because I think with 12 attacks sustained, twin linked, 3 damage, AP3, you could probably wipe like a good number of things that you just drop in and you just wipe them, right? Terminators with Lightning Claws are fire. They're not very good, they're rules worth at the moment. I'm afraid Lightning Claw Terminators are not a popular choice. Hello Terrence, good evening. Okay, I think I'm caught up in chat. Cool. Alright, I need to paint my Stormraven as well. I've been really enjoying playing that Stormraven these last few weeks. I don't know what it is. The Stormraven just works really, really well. These new, like, I haven't made any of these new Sternguard models. These are the first ones I made, actually. I think I've had them for probably like a year at this point, right? Because they were in, what box set were they in? Leviathan? They're nice, man. I like them. They just feel a bit like they got some weight to them. They're very monopose. Yeah, I actually used one of their bodies, and then this guy under here, I had to like give him a bigger shoulder pad to like hide the monstrosity of his shoulder that I destroyed trying to get him together, because I think you're right, they are very monopose, right? I mean, you could argue that like a lot of the new stuff is monopose when it Yeah, I think the reason that I suck with Inceptors is I always seem to put them down somewhere, and they don't kill what I need them to kill, and my opponent always seems to like manage to charge them, and the idea is that they don't get charged, and then use the 1 CP strat from Angelic Inheritors to put them back into Deep Strike, right? And then you can do the whole same thing again in a future turn. That is the strength. But hey, Reziel, good to see you. It's been a hot minute. How are you, buddy? Final Boss says, had my first game of Warhammer 40,000 today after many years of collecting full Death Company army teamed with Grey Knights against Imperial Knights with a Warhound Titan. Oh, I guess that would have been a fun game, man. How long did that take to play? Evening Vintage, how you doing? Stormhawk Interceptors and a wildcard choice. Anti-fly 2-up, strip 7 to 10 wounds off a Demon Primarch. Do all the Demon Primarchs fly? Do they? I must admit, I don't own a Stormhawk. Not many people do, I guess. We don't see flyers very often in 10th edition. It's really not something that we see, is it? I don't mind. I thought, like, when we... Last edition, when we saw the flyer spam, it was pretty unfun to have to play against that. Those orc flyers with flying over your head, dropping a million bombs, then shooting you with about 1 billion shots of Daka. Yeah, I think that was pretty unfun. Hello, Boris. Good evening, good evening. I'll be live for a couple hours tonight.
I have awoken.
Terrence says, check the 85 jump pack list. Also, new Dark Angels is dumb. They're so tanky. What is the 85 jump pack list, Terrence? Is this a list that you have sent me or something? 85 jump packs. Well, that'll be pretty spammy, won't it? How do you even get 85 jump packs? I guess you're going to have a couple of 10-man squad, like 10-man squad of Assault Intercessors with jump packs, maybe times 2. I'm trying to think how many different jump pack squads we have. We've got Van Vets, we've got Sangard, we've got Jump Assault Intercessors, so that's 3. We've got Jump Death Company, that's 4. So I only played the Sternguard one time. My opinion of playing them one time is they seem pretty darn strong if they're shooting the Oath of Moment target. Beyond that, I don't really know too much about them, but I've had these new Sternguard with the heavy bolters on their sprue for like a year at this point, so I thought I'd get them cracked open, get them made, and then at least if I like the Sternguard and want to push forward with them, I'm not having to like proxy some old models, because that's what I did this week. Was like I proxied a couple of old Devastators. I had one that actually did have a heavy bolter, but one of my Devastators was like, he's a proxy, right? So. $30 Death Company, 25 Jump Intercessors, 25 Vanguard Veterans. Yeah, I'm not sure that... I think the way that you could run it to be very strong is like... like 3 small squads of Jump Intercessors, 3 small squads of Vanguard Veterans, 3 small squads of Sanguinor. I mean, you could maybe do the 3 small squads of Death Company. I'm still not convinced about Death Company. I think they're better, but I remain unconvinced. I need to see somebody actually winning some tournaments with Death Company. Evening, Arathian. Terrence, by the way, thank you so much for 36 months of membership, dude. That is 3 years. Jeez, I can't even remember what I was doing 3 years ago. I guess we were 1 year away from the end of 9th edition. So, dude, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It really helped out being channel member. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Astaroth with 10 Jump Company running Liberator Assault Group got the Warhound Titan down to 6 wounds. That's good, because Astaroth is pretty unreliable, I feel like. I mean, Devastating Wounds is cool, but also requires you to roll a crap load of 6s. I'm not sure how much stock I have in Astrath, even with his recent points drop, because I feel like it all really comes down to you will still need to roll a lot of 6s to do the damage you need to do, because they don't have great strength, the Death Company, and Astrath doesn't buff their strength in any way, in any meaningful way, right? But yeah, I think Dark Angels are going to be a bit more steen, I guess, on the table. It sounds like they're better. Sounds like their guns are going to be a lot better. I think Ultramarines are still really good. Obviously, I played Ultramarines this week, like the week after the balanced data slate, and I was playing a bit of a weird Khorne list. Maybe, yeah, I think it was weird, but I did beat it pretty convincingly, so. I'm not sure. I think Death Guard are very, very strong at the moment. I think Khorne are quote unquote carried a little bit by their Forge Fiends, and I feel like Khorne probably need like a nerf to Forge Fiends and a buff to just about everything else. Because I think the way you play, well, I say Khorne, I mean World Eaters. I think the way you play World Eaters at the moment is 3 Forge Fiends as like that is your auto include. Like, that is just so strong right now. What model is this? Oh, these are company these are Sternguard veterans. They're from this is the monopose ones from the Leviathan box at the start of this edition. So these are like the heavy weapon ones, because a squad of Sternguard, 10 of them, you can take 2 heavy bolters. So these 2 guys are the heavy bolter guys, and then the guy that I'm going on to after this guy is the sergeant. The sergeant can take a power fist, but the monopose version didn't have that as an option. So I've done a little bit of a conversion there to get a power fist into the hands of a Sternguard veteran sergeant, because I mean the monopose version had it with a bolt pistol. I don't think anyone in their right mind would field a Sternguard veteran sergeant with a bolt pistol when you can have a power fist, right? Like, that's just bonkers. Paul says, I'm running Blood Angels with Librarius, Conclave, and Sternguard. Yeah, how many... Go on then, Paul, indulge me. How many Psychers are you actually running in that Librarius Conclave list? Because the way that detachment works is you get a buff to a unit if it's led by a Librarian, right? Like, that's the bottom line. That is how that detachment works. Am I missing something? Because I must admit, I didn't look at... Like, I did probably do a stream on that detachment, but I just sort of wrote it off as like, seems alright, but I'm probably not going to run like 9 Librarians. I don't even know if I have 9 Librarians. I think I've got maybe like 4 Librarians and one of them is Mephiston. And do you run Mephiston in that detachment? There's a question as well. Kevin says, I've really enjoyed Sternguard with the Rage Captain on a tough target. Probably not super competitive, but I'm going to be adding a Sanguinary Priest to them too. How many Sternguard are you going to run? You're going to run the whole 10, Sanguinary Priest, Captain, and then what do you do at that point? Do you put them in a transport, Kevin, or what do you do? I ran 10 Sternguard this week with Tigris in Ultramarines, and it felt very, very decent. So today, when I was doing my spraying, as well as spraying a bunch of the Sternguard, I also sprayed up a bunch more jump intercessors. So I've got, and these ones are a bunch of converted ones. So I've got like ones with power pistols, and I've got ones. You remember this old Sanguinary Guard power fist? That conversion is actually pretty decent. But yeah, I think I've only got like 15 of those jump intercessors made, so there's another 8. I'm not really sure how many I would need. I'm probably not, I must admit, I'm probably not going to field 20 jump intercessors. I'll probably field like 3 5-mans. You lose Mephiston, a normal librarian, and Terminator librarian. The sergeant can have a plasma pistol and a power fist. Yeah, but I think it's better he keeps his bolter, because his bolter will have devastating wounds, right? So while it's fine to give him a plasma pistol and the power fist, I think you actually want to keep his bolter, right? Here's a question. What colour helmets do Sternguard have? Like, just red? What colour are people made, like, they're veterans, so are they gold? Dr. Kushla, what's happening, dude? Did I see a librarian? Yes. The librarian is a converted Tigris. This guy right now is a Sternguard, though. Gold helmets. Kevin's are gold, Campbell's are gold. Well, there you go. Enough people got them gold. Arathian says, I got the new Blood Angels Combat Patrol. What's next for 1,000 points? A captain to lead some of the Sangre Guard, or Dante to lead some of the Sangre Guard. Maybe an Impulsor. Maybe a Gladiator Lancer. Do the Aggressors still suck? I think they got a lot better with the point. Like they literally went down like 20% in points. I think you could probably play Aggressors now. I just don't know if they will be a very highly played meta choice. Hard to say. I mean, people say they're slow, but in Liberator Assault Group you can give them advance and charge. People say they won't have enough attacks, but I mean they do have twin linked, which helps a lot. I mean, I think if you got to the end of a list and you have 100 points left and you don't need to fill any gaps and you just want to add some anti-vehicle, then I think Aggressors would be okay. Who's the Death Guard player in your squad? Is it Colin? Yeah, I mean, he plays on my channel a lot, but he's part of the Plastic Crackheads, yes. We have a bit of a rivalry going on, me and Colin, because every tournament he always talks up how good Death Guard are, and then every tournament I finish above him. I finished above him just this recent tournament where Death Guard are on like a 60% win rate. So I must admit, I have rubbed that into his face a few times already in this last month. I'm like, yeah. I think MSU Aggressors could be a good thing. Well, see, I think MSU Centurions is not too bad either. Have I seen the Deathwatch army rules? I remember like 6 months ago Deathwatch won like one tournament and they were really good, but I haven't really looked at them since then. Kedma, greetings. I didn't say hello. How are you? I think a lot of Blood Angels players that are winning events are taking a lot of Bladeguard. Colin is secretly quite casual. No, well, Colin wants to win, but every single time we go to any event, he always goes to the bar, and like Colin doesn't mess around when he goes to the bar. Like, if I'm going to a Warhammer event, I like to be 100% compos mentis. I like to be sober, and in the morning I definitely don't want to be hungover. It's easy enough for me to make mistakes when I'm sober. I can't imagine what it would be like if I felt like complete ass and I'm hungover. So yeah, Colin's not really casual, but Colin does maybe like beer a tiny bit too much. I did see that a tournament that had tournament list that had a squad of tactical marines, 2 squads in fact, went 4-1. I'm just going to assume that something went madly wrong at that tournament, or people didn't know how to deal with the tactical marines. Do I ever play Crusade? No, I've never played Crusade. I always have like good intentions in terms of playing the other things, but like I've got 2 young children. I barely even get enough time to feel properly practiced with like a list going into a tournament. I went to more tournaments before I had kids. But I mean, everything was easier, right? Like I didn't have 2 other mouths to feed. I didn't have I didn't have to spend a lot of time with them. It's not that I dislike, like, it probably comes across like I dislike spending time with my kids. No, that's not true at all. I love spending time with my kids. But if you love spending time with your kids and you want to be a good parent and you want to be there for your kids, then you have to give up your own time, right? What detachment am I running Sternguard in? I've only run them once, and it was Stormlance. And the reason that I've played Stormlance the last 2 weeks was I just wanted a change, right? Like, so I've been back in this game now, coming up on like almost a decade, I think, because I came back at the start, just before the start of 8th edition. So I came back in 7th edition. So if we're moving into 11th, that would be 3 years of 10th, 3 years of 9th, 3 years of 8th. Yeah, so like next year I'll have been back playing the hobby for like 10 years. And I've pretty much been playing Blood Angels exclusively all the time for those 10 years. There's a couple of times, I've played Black Templars. I played them for like 2 months. I played Gladius Space Marines, I guess, when Blood Angels were really bad at the start of 10th edition. For like 2 months. No, maybe it was more like 6 months, actually, I think. I played Gladius. I felt like Gladius seemed to drag on. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I really enjoyed playing Gladius. But I did play Gladius for like a long time. It honestly felt like a bit of a drag. I don't know if I really enjoyed playing Gladius that much. But Gladius at the time had a much, much higher win rate than Blood Angels. So I was playing Gladius. Do I water down the paint? Yeah. I mean, to a certain degree, yeah. I'm pretty much just slapping it on. This is just base coats that I'm doing. So sometimes this might even be a little bit too watery. I'll probably do 2 base coats of this. But yeah, I'm watering it down a little bit. I'm just trying to do this step reasonably fast. I'm just trying to hit all the red armor to give it a bit more of a brighter finish than the... I don't really like Mephiston Red. Mephiston Red's a fine base coat, but I like my reds to be a little bit more vibrant. Black Templars are king. They are not king. No. But you're allowed to be delusional, Jack. I mean... you could play a Stormlance, so you could play a Flyer, right? Yeah, I mean, I played the Stormlance twice to try the Stormraven. I've had a Stormraven tank, or a Stormraven now for like 10 years, and I've played it like 1 time. So in the last 2 weeks, I've played the Stormraven more times than I've played in the last 10 years. So yeah, I'm just playing Stormlance at the moment, or I have been playing Stormlance for a change. I was kind of waiting for a points drop for Blood Angels, or balance update for Blood Angels. So we've got that. So I'm gonna 100% make a new Blood Angels list. Like, that is happening. Like, I think I know what that probably looks like. Like, I've talked about it a lot. Like, lots and lots of jump infantry, lots and lots of spam, lots and lots of trade. I'm probably going to make it with the double Gladiator Lancer, because I'd like to keep the points of the vehicles to an absolute minimum. But I think I think taking 1 Gladiator Lancer is a trap, because it doesn't kill anything. I think 2 is probably where it's at. So I'm probably going to do that. But here's the kicker, I've just really been enjoying... I've really, really enjoyed playing Stormlance. Like, the last 2 weeks I've played it, I've had a lot of fun. What's my verdict on the new points? Well, I mean, the comment on my stream was kind of the thing that I thought. I was like, I don't know if I feel like the new points fix any of the problems with Blood Angels, but are the new points going to be a lot more competitive? Then I think the answer is yes, right? Like, but do they fix any of the problems? Not so much. Is that fair to say? Would 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts be better? I've played a lot of tournaments with double Ballistus Dreadnought. I've been playing double Ballistus Dreadnought Marius probably since the start of 10th edition. 18 Bladeguard. If I had 18 Bladeguard, I would run 18. I think I can realistically field 12 Bladeguard. And I think I can probably field 20 Jump Intercessors and like 15 Vanguard Vets and 3 small units of Sangre Guard. So yeah, I think it will be lots and lots of spam, if that's the right word. And I think that would be good. Bladeguard typically paired with which leader? I don't even know if they need a leader. That's the thing, right? You could lead them, but I think you lead them to the Judiciar or you lead them to the Chaplain, right? I think I've taken mine to a tournament before where they've been led with Judiciar, but I don't think I've ever taken them to a tournament where I led them with no, sorry, other way around. I've taken Bladeguard to a tournament led by a Chaplain. I think I've done that twice. But I don't think I've ever taken Bladeguard led by the Judiciar, which is funny because the Judiciar is probably a pretty competitive choice, right? But yeah, I think starting the list with like 12 Bladeguard and like 15 Jump Intercessors and maybe like double Gladiator Lancer is what like my next Blood Angels list looks like. I'm going to make it this week. I'll probably throw together... When I'm making it, I'm probably going to make a video about it, to be completely honest with you. So it'll probably just be like a random video up some night this week. Obviously before Wednesday. Oh, well, I need to actually find out if I've got an opponent for Wednesday. So I need to send out some texts, see if I can get an opponent for Wednesday. Sometimes I'm organised, sometimes I'm not. I guess this week I'm not. So I need to find out if I can actually get an opponent for Wednesday. And if I can get an opponent for Wednesday, then I need to make a list that's got the sort of MSU spam that I've been talking about. 'Cause I think that would be the best. Like if I go to a tournament, I typically want to try and... I say I want to win, but I think winning is actually super difficult, right? Like I've been back in, like I said, I've been back in this hobby like 10 years now, give or take. I've won 1 tournament. Well, I've won 2, but one of them's a team tournament, so I don't know if that counts, because in the team tournament I definitely lost a couple of games, and you know, my teammates... I guess that's the thing about the team tournament. Sometimes people have bad matchups, sometimes people have good matchups. I had a couple of bad matchups, but we still won the tournament, right? So yeah, I've been back in this hobby like 10 years. I've won 1 tournament, 1 solo tournament and 1 team tournament. And like I said, the team tournament one, I had 2 really good teammates, right? So yeah. So realistically, I think if I go to a tournament, I'm aiming probably to go for 4-1. And if you've never got 4-1 in a tournament, honestly, dude, it's fucking hard to get 4-1. Like, I can get 3-2 all day long. Like, every year I go to, like, let's say on average, I basically go to 1 tournament every 3 months. Give or take. Last year was down a little bit, but, like, my kids were very difficult last year. This year I'm going to 1 every 3 months, basically. So, hopefully, kids are a little bit better behaved. Things are a little bit easier. But, yeah, pretty much, like, 75% of the tournaments I go 3-2. So once a year I do better than 3-2, and then the other 3 events are always like 3-2. So yeah, it's super hard to go 4-1. Sometimes it literally comes down to like a single dice roll or a single gotcha. So yeah. If I'm going to a tournament, I want to go with a list that I think can do 4-1. I don't just want to... I don't want to turn up and be like, I'm just here for 3-2. No, I'm here to try and get 4-1. I suppose that's probably my goal in every tournament. And the thing is, if you go 4-1 and you win your first 4 games, then you are playing at the top table. And I think I've played at the top table now 3 or 4 times. I can remember 3. Yeah, I think I've played at the top table 3 times. And I've only won once, which was the last time. But yeah, I'm hoping next time I do get to the top table, I'll feel a little less pressure because I've won one, I've won a GT before, but I don't know if that'll be the case. Because there's something very nerve-wracking about going to the top table as well, right? Are you aware of knights dropping in toughness? I'm not sure if this is true. Yeah, I've heard rumours, apparently, that armigers are going to T9 and the big knights are all losing 1 toughness as well. That would be very interesting, right? Because it means like las cannons suddenly wound all the big knights on 3s rather than 4s. And like Death Company with power fists would suddenly wound armigers on 3s rather than 4s. And like the eviscerators, which currently wound on 5s. And the chain swords, which currently wound on... what? I guess no change for chain swords, but yeah, eviscerators and power fists would be better. I don't know if what... I mean, knights have a really high win rate. Let's just throw that out there, right? Like, if you check the knights win rate, it's like 58, 59% or something. It is high. So it would make sense to try and do something to bring them down a little bit more in line with everybody else. I think that could only be a good thing. I guess we'll find out. Could you math hammer Death Company Marines versus Bladeguard? I love you losing Blood Angel units, so shine. I am gonna be making some videos, some maths videos in the next couple of weeks. Yes, Jack. I haven't exactly decided which videos they are, but I will be making maths videos for sure because I think everybody wants to know what's good, right? With the new book, and everybody wants to know what's competitive, including me. So probably over the next few weeks, we'll do a bunch of maths videos, and I'll try and like sometimes when I make those maths videos, I'm up till midnight trying to make those videos. So I'm gonna try and at least make it sane, where I'm not up until friggin' midnight every night making math videos. The math videos are usually quite intensive, I guess. Oh balls, this guy's got a hole in his base. I will need to fix that. Okay. Knights, Ultramarines would eat them for breakfast with +1 to wound. Ultramarines are pretty good right now, aren't they? I really have, I must admit, Marius, I've only played Guilliman 2 games now, but my goodness, that guy's just so much fun. Like, he just kills so much every game, and like, he is difficult to deal with because, like, you just can't shoot him. Ever, right? Like, Andrew just couldn't shoot him at all last week. I think the week before, Miles just couldn't ever shoot him either. So the only time you get to fight Guilliman is in close combat, and guess what? He's an absolute truck in close combat. The first time I played him against Miles, I didn't even realise that his like 14 attack sweep had devastating wounds. Like, I played the whole game, and I was like, oh my god, he had devastating wounds on all those attacks. And then the fact that his fist is flat 4, like, I fought, so this week it was Guilliman against a Demon Prince, a World Eater's Demon Prince. And like, the World Eater's Demon Prince fails 3 saves. And it's like, cool, how much damage? I'm like, flat 4. Get out of here, Demon Prince. Like, Andrew was like sat looking at it for a second. He's like, is there anything I can do to save this Demon Prince? No, you take 12 damage, Demon Prince. Get out of here, you are done. Guilliman didn't even lose a wound against the World Eaters, right? Like, yeah, I don't think he lost a wound, honestly. Everything he charged just friggin' melted, and he killed like, he must have killed like 500 points of stuff by himself. Maybe more. And his aura is still really good. I like Guilliman. I liked running him in 9th edition. I like him again in 10th edition. I'm going to get the official model for Guilliman, because at the moment I'm using a Dreadnought proxy, which is fine. I mean, I converted the Dreadnought to have the same sort of weapons that Guilliman have, but I actually want to have the right one, if that makes sense. Smurfs are fantastic at the moment. Why is their win rate so poor? Well, I've been running Stormland Smurfs, and like, that detachment seems really good. Roboto Guilliman, say his name. You just made me think of that Joe Hendry song from WWE. You seen that one? Oh, I should make a meme video for Roboto Guilliman that goes like that Joe Hendry song. I believe in him, yeah. You need to carve up Bobby G's armor and remove all the U pieces. I'm gonna. That's what I've done to this Tigris. Tigris had a U on his chest piece, which I've covered. He had a U on his staff, which I have covered. He had a U on the top of his banner, which I have covered. He had a U on the shoulder pad, which I have replaced, and he had a U on his knee, which I have filed off. It's not the cleanest file job, but all 5 U's that this guy had are gone. It's more heretical doing it to Primarch. Hey, I already did it to Helbrecht last edition, right? Where is Helbrecht? Oh no, it wasn't Helbrecht. Sorry, you know it was Helbrecht. Ah, yeah. Fucking A, just stubbed my toe on the desk. That was sore. Ow. Yeah, because this is Helbrecht. I covered his Black Templar's thing on his front with wings. I covered the thing on his shoulder pad with wings. I cut off the Black Templar's thing on the top and put on more Blood Angel's wings. So I think he doesn't have any... I mean, he kind of has the Black Templar thing on his helmet, sure. But yeah, most of his... he's got a couple of little crosses up here. But yeah, for the most part, we got rid of all the... We get rid of all the... He has a giant fucking base, doesn't he? Like, why is his base so big? Like, why? It's like it's bigger than a friggin' Dreadnought. I swear to you. Or it probably is the size of a Dreadnought. How dare you do Helbrecht like that? You've missed the U on his banner and his purity seals. Get out of here. No one's gonna... He doesn't have a U on his banner, I looked. Oh, he's got a tiny little U on his book. Oh, god damn it. Well, tough. No one's gonna notice that, Mary. Only you. Only you. Only you know about that. No one else noticed. It's been absolutely ages since I painted a blue librarian. Someone remind me, what blue paint? Like Macragge blue or something? Like what blue paint do you use for like a Blood Angel's blue librarian? Like I said, it's probably been like 5 years since I painted a blue librarian. I've got a couple, I just can't think of what paints I would have used. Cantor blue? I will notice every time. No, I've already forgotten. Anyway, Do you know what? Maybe Tigris just decided to leave Ultramarines anyway because they're a bit boring and generic, you know? I don't suppose that's really how it can work in the lore, but I mean, this isn't a lore channel, so on my channel, the lore can be anything you want. So he's defected, he's got bored, so he's ditched most of his Ultramarine heraldry, he's just kept a little bit of it. How about that? That's what I'll notice when I look at the model. Macragge blue is too light? Alright, hold on a minute. So what blue do you reckon this guy is? Because I'd want him to match. What blue is that?
I have awoken.
He's on loan to help the Blood Angels win rate. Alright. It's a low blow. It is a low blow, Marius, but we'll take it. You sod. You know, Marius, if we ever line up at one of these GTs, I ain't holding no punches. Guilliman will be going down. It looks like the old enchanted blue. It wouldn't be. It would be a modern Games Workshop paint, because when I came back to the hobby like 10 years ago, do you remember those like hexagonal paint pots? All my old hexagonal paint pots had been stored in like my cellar, and they'd all dried out. So I basically had to throw them all away and rebuy all the paints. That's too saturated to be Macragge blue. I don't know what blue it is then. Hold on a minute. I'll get on once I put a little bit of. Once I do these 2 or 3 base rims, I'm gonna grab all the blues that I have and see if I can figure out which blue it is. Which do you think is better, Angelic Hosts or Inheritors? Inheritors 100%. I have no interest in running Host. I think it's dog shit. It just doesn't have the stratagem support that it needs. I think that detachment. Inheritors at least has some very, very powerful strats. I think that's probably why Inheritors is such a. It's seen as like a high skill detachment, right? Like you're supposed to have quote unquote higher skill if you're playing Angelic Inheritors. That's probably why I wanted to play it, and then I go 3 and 2 and realise that maybe I'm not as high skill as I thought I was. I'm alright. Ultramarines blue? I don't even know if that's a paint. A cellar in Scotland? No, I mean, the house that I had, the last house that I had, Hispania, I don't know if you were part of the stream back then, but that last house I had was built in like 1850. I had to wear gloves and like. I had to wear gloves and like all sort, like almost had to wear like hats inside. It was so cold. I did have a cellar. It's probably one of the reasons it was so cold. There's just a big block of icy cold air underneath the house, just sitting there all the time. But no, I had a decent sized cellar, like 6 meters by 6 meters or something, like a lot of storage. But like, my god, that house was a disaster. Like I said, it was built in like I think the house was built in 1880. And one thing that I found out after I bought it was in 1880, they know jack shit about insulation. Like, it was so cold all the time. Well, it was either too cold or too hot, right? Because in the summer, the house just heated up, and because there was no insulation, the heat had nowhere to go, so it was just like trapped inside the house. And in the winter, the heat just wouldn't stay in the house. So, yeah, having a cellar doesn't necessarily make you rich, trust me. Because that house was cheap, and I was not, and I still am not rich. Just means that you have a weird property. Some of the properties that go on the market here in Scotland, like I said, that one was apparently built in 1880. So Yeah, we actually had to do a lot of maintenance on that house. I miss the gloves on stream. Do you know what? I've got my gloves right here. I just don't need to wear them anymore because it's warm, or at least it's not. It's like double digits of temperature inside. Do you think there's much chance that GW will revisit the Lost Brethren detachment? No. I mean, that's pretty much a year since our codex has come out now, and they have not done anything with that detachment, and I think most people that are aware of that detachment know it is very bad and uncompetitive. I mean, I think if you want to play Lost Brethren, you play it in narrative play, right? Like, it is just not a competitive detachment. It would need some sort of radical overhaul. I think that, I don't agree with this, but I think that the way it works is if your codex has a couple of good detachments, you are expected to play the good detachments. If you've got a couple of bad ones, tough, I guess. As long as you've got a couple of balanced ones or a couple of ones that are performing reasonably well, then you are sort of expected to play those ones, right? Like I said, I don't know if I overly like or agree with that, but I think that is generally... Because I've complained about Lost Brethren and Angelic Host a bunch of times and said I think it's bad that they don't care about it, and I've said I think it's bad that they don't update those detachments because I don't think they're competitive. And I think enough people in the YouTube comments have basically said to me, like, you have some competitive detachments, you should be happy with that, stop complaining. And like I said, I don't agree with it, but I think that is the reality of that. I mean, like, I guess if you go look at Codex Space Marines, right? So Stormlance is okay. Anvil Task Force, don't think that's very good at all, right? Very few people play it. Or I don't even remember if it's exactly called Anvil Task Force, but it's something like that. Anvil Siege Force or something. There's another one, First Company Veterans. Nobody plays First Company Veterans. I think it's probably the worst detachment by a country mile, right? Because, yeah, I just think that's a terrible detachment. And then I think there's one other one that's really bad in Codex Space Marines. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I think there is one other one that gets like literally no play all the time, or any of the time, right? Mario says, I lived in an ancient house, had the same issue. Freezing cold, roasting hot, and the invasion of mice. That's funny. Do you know what? I had a mouse in my old house as well, actually. I was just minding my business in one of the rooms and a mouse just ran across the floor. And I was like, how did a mouse get in here? Hello, Matthew! Working overnight and it's hard to catch the live videos. No problem, Matthew. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in on Wednesday, was it? Right, let me see if I can find a blue paint. I think it might be McCrag blue. What other blues do I even own? Alright. If this is not McCrag blue, what blue is it? It's going to be Matthew with the super chat. I knew it before I even looked at my screen. Matthew, you are a legend. Dude, thank you so much. What's your data slate video? Thank you for your input and your humor. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Dude, you are a gentleman as well. Thank you so much for the super chat. So I think the only other blues that I have then are Calidor Sky. That looks very light. And Calgar Blue, which also looks very light. I would have probably blue glazed over this, to be honest. I've edge highlighted it with what looks like Fenrisian Grey or something. Or maybe I edge highlighted it with the Calgar Blue? Gladius, Stormlance, Anvil, Ironstorm. Yeah, so Flamestorm is rubbish. First Company is rubbish. Anvil is rubbish, right? And we all know those detachments are rubbish, right? Who was it that asked the Death Company question? Do you think there's much chance? Final boss. Yeah, so the Space Marine Codex was one of the first codexes in 10th edition, right? So like if they have not fixed 3 absolute dogshit detachments from Space Marine, why would they fix the dogshit detachment from Blood Angels, right? Like, I guess the way they look at it is like Gladius is okay, Stormlance is okay, Ironstorm is probably okay, Vanguard, I don't know if Vanguard is good right now, but it was okay at some point. I'm gonna start with the McCrag Blue. I'm gonna need a base. I'm gonna need a base coat of something, right? So let's start with a base coat of McCrag Blue and see what that ends up look like. I'm gonna Games Workshop Librarian Tigris. So it's not Tigris at all, it's like Tigerius, is it? Firestorm can be okay, but only if you take the Salamander characters. Which detachment makes tactical squads OP? Yeah, dude, the Blood Angels list that went 4-1 that had 2 tactical squads. Which detachment was it using? Tigerius. Is that right? I can see why some people thought it was like Tigris. Alright, let's try blue. McCrag Blue. Does look very dark, but maybe it'll be the right color. My friend today was saying when you attack my squad, you choose whether you use the save of the unit or the save of the character. No. That's not how it works. You take the save... Unless he has precision, when he attacks your squad, you take the save on the units, and you use that save until all the units are dead. You know, like if you've got 10 saves to take, let's say it's 10 2 damage saves and you only have 5 guys. You take the 5 saves, or you would roll the save of those guys until they are dead. So let's say you rolled 5 ones. Right, cool, your 5 guys are dead. You now need to take the remaining 5 saves on the character save. But yeah, so essentially, like if you have to take 10 saves, for example, on a unit of 5 intercessors that are attached to a character, you know, you would take all of them on the unit until the unit are dead, or until the unit is dead, excuse me. So the So that's why, like, sometimes if you've got a big unit and you have to take a lot of saves, that's why people say to slow roll it. Because let's say you have to, because as soon as the unit is dead, then you move to the character, right? So if you've only got like 5 guys in a character and you have to take 10 saves, you kind of have to roll a dice. You would save against the unit. Oh, that's one dead, okay. Roll a dice, right, we saved it, cool, move on. Roll a dice, right? The only way you save on your character before that is if they have a stratagem or something that lets them specifically target the character. There is a generic one that can do that called Epic Challenge. So they can pay 1 CP when they fight in melee to give their character Epic Challenge, which means if he can see your character, so if he can draw line of sight against you, even if he's not in base contact with you, he can put his attacks at your character. In that case, you would then roll the saves on the character save because all that damage is going directly against your character. Does that make sense? People generally call him Tiggy. Well, I should call him Tiggy, dude, because I'm forever butchering names and stuff. I'm really bad at, like, English is... I was always a C student in English, honestly. I think when I was starting the YouTube channel, that was the thing I was worried about the most, was like, my English is really bad. Or at least I always felt it was really bad. But yeah, Matthew, on speaking of the data slate from the other night, I think that the plan will be to try and build the strongest army list that I possibly can using the MSU spam for Blood Angels. And I'll play that, like, I don't know if I've got a game on Wednesday night. If I do have Wednesday night game, then I'll play it Wednesday night maybe. But I may, just for a change, actually run the Stormlance to the GT that I'm going in August. We'll see. Stormlance has felt like a very nice breath of fresh air after playing the same thing for, I guess, 2 years or something. So I think usually as we approach the end of an edition, like the end of the 3-year cycle, I like to switch things up, I guess. And that's maybe one of the reasons that I switched up to Angelic Inheritors, even though everyone was saying, like, oh, you should still play Liberator, Assault Group Stronger. I don't want, like, as much as I like playing specifically Blood Angels, I also don't want to feel like I only play one detachment all the time, and because that can get a little bit stale. So what happens when there are Khalgar's Victrix Guard? What do you mean what happens when there are Khalgar's Victrix Guard? Elaborate, what do you mean, Robert? Can you use units to block line of sight? You can use units more likely to block movement paths, but units typically... I mean, yeah, like if you have a giant tank, yes, maybe you can block line of sight, but it is much, much harder, because if let's say your tank is 1 millimeter off the ground, if they can draw line of sight underneath the tank to see the toes of the target that they're aiming at, then they can do that. So blocking line of sight with units is not really a thing. It just isn't. Blocking movement with units, 100% a thing, right? That's one of the reasons I like Outriders so much, because Outriders have these giant big bases and you can spread them out. And like Outriders can be very useful for blocking movement and also for protecting units, because like the enemy can't charge over the top of the unit of Outriders unless they fly, right? 3 Van Vets, 3 Assault Intercessors, 3 Sangre Guard, rest of Tactical Squads and Rhinos. I don't know. I think the person that won the or the person that did 4-1 in the tournament with the tactical squads is definitely anomaly. What's the word? See, I told you I suck at English. You guys know what I'm trying to say now. Not nominally, you know, like in Star Trek when they're like, we've detected an anomaly in space, like a weird thing. You know what I'm trying to say? Anomaly. Am I saying it right? Yeah, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but yeah, I think the guy that went 4-1 with a squad of tactical squads is definitely like we're not going to see someone else go 4-1 in the next couple of weeks with 2 tactical squads. You just love tactical squads. Do you know what I used to? Do you know what I love? I love the Blood Angel specific tactical squad. You know that? I loved all the so I was converting these guys this week, and this is like a Sternguard squad, and this is like a Ultramarines character. And when I was converting them this week, I was using old pieces from from the old Death Company sprues. And I was using some old pieces from like some old Blood Angels upgrade sprues, like pre-10th edition upgrade sprues. And as I was converting them, I was just like, oh my god, you know, the old upgrade sprues are so much better than the new ones. They've got the custom heads, and they've got like custom shoulder pads and all these little decals. And I was just like, man, the old upgrade sprues are so nice, and the new ones are just so generic. And I must admit, I really hate the new ones. I didn't think I would be so passionate about it, but just using the old ones for upgrades and stuff, it's just like I kind of wish that I'd just gone out and bought like 10 sets of. I think. You know, I guess that's why that Blood Angels tactical squad goes for like $100 on eBay now if you see it, because it's just got all those little individual Blood Angels pieces that are just so good and so. I mean, the fact that they work, you know, the fact that they're the same scale as all the Primaris stuff, it's just so nice. Death Company, the old Death Company box, all the custom bits you got inside it, the shoulder pads. I was like, oh. You know that thing that they say, like, you don't know what you had until it's gone, you know? That's how I was saying, like, I was converting this guy, I think, was it this one? Yeah, like this shoulder pad, like, it just does not exist in Primaris anymore. It's got a trim, it's got blood drops, it's gorgeous. This helmet, 3 blood drops on top of it, a wreath. Perfect for a sergeant. It's gorgeous. We don't have it. I feel like I did something on one of the other guys as well. Oh, it was on top of Tigris's banner, was it? Like, I actually think this came off the Primaris upgrade sprue, which I guess is okay. But yeah, I just felt like, oh, there's something glorious about the old upgrade sprues and those old tactical squad kits and those old Death Company's kits, man. Like, who we gotta talk to at Games Workshop to get that stuff back? Like, why can't we have nice things? And it's not like we're wanting it for free. Like, if you put that on sale, pretty sure we would all pay for it, right? Blood Angels Commander talking smack about tactical marines. No, I'm bigging them up. I mean, I don't like the rules, but I think that their upgrade sprues and their old backpacks and everything about those kits was fucking legendary, man. Like, it was like we didn't know how good we had it. We took that Blood Angels tactical squad kit for granted. We all did it. I had one of them, but I only ever had one of them, right? The Blood Angels Assault Terminator kit, yeah, I had one of those as well. Only ever had one. Took it for granted as well, probably, right? You don't know what you've got until it's gone. It's such a true saying. I wish I had 10 now. If you had 10, God bless 3D printers. I just don't know if the 3D printer stuff is as good, man. I mean, there's definitely some good 3D printed parts, don't get me wrong. Like, there is 100% some good 3D printed parts, but some of that classic stuff was just... It was just top tier, I guess. Absolute top tier. Joe, I'm pretty sure my Librarian is painted with Macragge blue based on the fact that, like, this is the first coat of Macragge blue. If I do a second coat of Macragge blue, I feel like it will 100% match the sky once there's a second coat on there, will it? Or maybe it won't. Maybe I'm full of crap. Oh, I really want it to match. I'm gonna be upset if it doesn't match. Is it that lighter one, or is it gonna... Well, that paint needs shaked. I can't remember the last time I painted blue, honestly. Oh, it's probably this. Look at that. Calidor Sky. That's got to be it, right? Yeah, I think it's that. Okay, fine. So we'll base coat with Macragge blue because we're already halfway through base coating, and then we'll do the coat of Calidor Sky. Do you think the Sanguinor is worth taking? I was running him for a little while in Angelic Inheritors. I think he is okay. I think he's still kind of costly at 140. I mean, he's just a Marine with 7 wounds and a 4-up invan. Like, it all comes down to, I guess, can you get a lot of value out of his heroic intervention nonsense? Because that's literally whether or not... Like, because if you can get a lot of value out of that, then sure, he's worth taking. If you can't get a lot of value out of that, then I'd say no, don't take him. If you varnished, it'll have a different tone. Yeah, I always varnish, so it probably has been varnished. But yeah, I think it's definitely not Macragge blue. I think this is too dark. I think it'll be too dark even when we put the second coat on. I'm gonna do the base coat color, or the base coat of the Macragge, and then I'm gonna use that Calidor Sky. I think that'll be the one, because like I said, I don't own that many blue paints. You know. The Sanguinor dies too easy all the time. He can pop off and he can be very, very useful. I think he pops off as often as he doesn't, right? So he's kind of a hard character to play, and then there's some matchups where he just doesn't bring as much value, right? Like if you're playing Death Guard, I don't really think he brings a lot of value, because like what Death Guard unit can he actually kill? Well, probably none of them. I mean, I ironically actually took him in a game against Death Guard, and he did arrive from Deep Strike, and he did on his own sum kill like a 9-wound bloat drone. So I mean, I guess yes, you know, like he can do stuff like that. He can arrive from Deep Strike and he can just mess with your opponent's plans, but he can also arrive from Deep Strike and do nothing. And I think for 140 points, you know, like I feel like he is the same points as a Ballistus Dreadnought. If I stand my Ballistus Dreadnought 48 inches away from the enemy, or like at max range, whatever you want to call it, or 36 inches, or if I stand my Ballistus Dreadnought quite far away, and turn after turn I shoot 2 las cannons, and 2 las cannons and 2 crack missiles every turn, will that be more valuable than the Sanguinor arriving and doing something, or maybe doing nothing, right? Like, to me, I probably feel like I would take the Ballistus. I understand why the Sanguinor is good. I think in some matchups he's very, very good. He can protect units, but then there is a bunch of matchups where he just is underwhelming. The threat of him arriving has some value. Well, it certainly does, dude, but the amount of times he arrives and he kills one enemy model, that's the thing, right? Like, he will... Yeah, sure. Sometimes he arrives and he just destroys, like, a big vehicle. because he does have devastating wounds. But as many times as he does that, he will arrive and he will kill one model. And here's the thing, people are going to sometimes you get in the game where you have to charge, right? Like I played against Liberator Assault Group in the tournament I was just at, and he had the Sanguinor. But I mean, I needed to make a charge in turn 2 to destroy one of his vehicles. I'm making that charge anyway. And in that situation, the Sanguinor did arrive from Deep Strike, and I think he killed one model from my unit, which was completely, I mean, it's not nothing, but it didn't change much. It was still like, okay, the Sanguinor's arrived and killed one model. Well, I've still got the rest of my unit. I'm still going to fight you. You know, so be it, I guess. He's the melee casino cannon, says Phil. Do you play the Sanguinor these days, Phil? Or is he out of your lists? The rockets, when everyone has cover, is not very useful. Yeah, but then here's the thing. Let's say you play against orcs, right? So you're playing against orcs and they're running a bunch of 20-man squads. Well, when you're playing against orcs and they're running 20-man squads, so you get +4 shots from blast, the 2d6 strength 5 crack missiles are pretty useful, right? Vanguard Veterans with shields or Infernal pistols. I think you mix. I think you do a couple of squads with shields, and I think you do a couple of squads with Infernal pistols. Can you even mix the same squad now, is the question. Like, do the rules actually let you mix the same squad? Or is it more like... let me just refresh myself on the rules. 39k Pro. Vanguard Veterans. War gear options. Any number of models. Oh, right, any number of models. So yeah, I mean, you could do 5 Storm Shields, 5 Infernal Pistols, then that's what I would do. If you're going to run 10 Vanguard Veterans, you definitely need some with the Invuln save, you definitely want that. It's kind of quirky that they've left that, because just about every other unit you have to replace everything. But with Vanguard Veterans it still says any number of models. You definitely want a couple of Storm... Like, you could argue there that you just want, like, 3 Storm Shields or something and then 7 Infernal Pistols. I mean, there's an argument to be made for that. Just so you've got a few that can take those las cannons or whatever the big nasties that they shoot at you. And then the rest can be Infernal Pistols. I guess they forgot that unit exists and sort of like uses the old, because they don't really make rules like that anymore, right? Like that's legacy stuff now, I think. Ross says, I'm a new Blood Angels player returning to the game. I played Necrons in 2017 and I want to build a 1k list for Blood Angels. Is this a good start? Dante? You've got the points cost for Dante wrong, by the way. He's 120. I don't know where you're getting your points from. 6 Angry Guard, that is also the wrong points cost. Using a previous book, man. We're on 10th edition now. Jump Pack Intercessor split into 2 5s. 10 Infernus Marines, a Rhino. I think Infernus Marines and a Rhino. I'm not even sure Infernus Marines can go inside a Rhino, by the way. Not in 10th edition. I'd say Infernus Marines are very average. We barely see any competitive Blood Angels players use Infernus Marines. I guess there's probably a few reasons for that, but yeah, we just haven't seen anyone really picking them up. They're not seen as a strong unit. They're not something that appear in many Blood Angels lists, period. And Rhinos as well. Rhinos are very much, I think, on the way out. In terms of, like, yes, you can field them right now, but probably in 6 months' time or a year's time, I would imagine rhinos get moved into legend. Like, very few people field rhinos. There's not much that can go in them because they've got. I think all that can go in a rhino is like a devastator squad, a tactical squad. I don't know what else can go in a rhino, honestly. What else can go in a rhino, guys? So I would avoid the rhino. You could replace that with an impulsor. Impulsors are good. They're the new Primaris transport. But like your, what was it? 10 Infernus Marines? Yeah, you also probably don't want 10. You probably want like, you could do 5 regular intercessors or 5 infiltrators. You could also do a unit of scouts. Scouts are very useful, very good at scoring points. I mean, Sanguinor are good. Jump intercessors split into 5 are good. Dante is good. We do an army list show every Sunday night, by the way, Ross. So Sunday night, 8 PM UK time. It is 9:30 UK time, right? So like 90 minutes earlier than we are right now. Tomorrow night, every Sunday, we go over community submitted army lists. Can an Infernal Sergeant take an Infernal Pistol? Can an Intercessor Sergeant? I don't think so, because an Infernal Pistol is a Blood Angel specific weapon. No, you can take a power weapon, a plasma pistol, a hand flame, or a chain sword. Or he can take a power fist or a power weapon or a thunder hammer. Yeah, no, he can't take an infernal pistol. Yeah, almost nothing can go in rhinos or razorbacks these days, says Boris. Yeah, that's what I thought. You'd be fine buying the combat patrol box after buying 3 Sanguinor, because I think the accepted way to run Blood Angels, well, I say the accepted way, the way that people are going to think Blood Angels are the most competitive right now is honestly going to be running 9 Sanguinor. Like, you will see lists that run more than 9, but I think 9 is probably like quote unquote the accepted number for Sanguinor to be competitive at the moment. So if you are if that, you know, like if you are trying to work out,
I have awoken.
Hey, thanks so much for subscribing, Matty. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I think 9 Sanguinor is honestly fine. I think if I am going to be building a new Blood Angels list in the coming weeks. I think if I am building a Blood Angels list, I am indeed going to be running 9 Sanguinor. I did finish the charity raffle, Matthew. It has honestly been an absolute nightmare to get anyone at the charity to respond to give us a bank account to pay money to them. So like, there is over $2,000 there, and the raffle website emailed the children's hospital. Like, they've emailed them twice, no one's replied. I've emailed them twice, no one's replied except a bot. I have now emailed the charity place again, because they last emailed me on the 27th. That was because I see the CC'd email. So
I have awoken.
they emailed the charity on the 27th. to ask them for a bank account to pay the money, and they haven't responded since the 27th. So I actually chased them earlier today and was like, you know, that's like a 10 days, 11 days, because we're on the 7th of June now, so 10 days. I'm like, what is the situation of this? Because I would like it to be finalized so I can post about it, you know? And it's all legit and kosher. I don't understand why it's taking so long for someone at the charity to respond. But yeah, so it should be over $2,000 is what we raised. The money is literally sitting in an account at Raffle, and it's been sitting there for like 15 days at this point. So like, what the fuck is going on? Like, just, I don't know if they think that we're like, you know, like all those emails you get, like the Nigerian princes that have won the lottery and they're trying to give you money. I don't know if they think that we're not like a real thing. Like, I'm at the point where like maybe I just need to phone them up. The problem is it's America, and I don't really. Maybe it was Alex, one of the other guys that's often on the stream. He was the one that recommended we do St. Jude's. So maybe I need to forward the email to Alex and ask him if he could just make a phone call to them, because he's in America. And see if they just figure out why we can't get their bank account to send them the money. It's confirmed, Blood Angels commanders. You want me to phone them? Would you mind, Phil, if I sent you the email? Because like the email just says, let me see if I can read it. It says like I have a 1-800 number, so I assume that's toll free to call if you're in America, right? Because in the UK it's 0800, which is like you don't have to pay for the call, right? So I have like a 1-800 number. They're open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time. And I mean, we've sent them 3 emails now. Yeah, it's 1-800, right? I'll forward. Do I have your email, Phil? Send me your email on Discord, Phil, and I'll see if I can get. If you could just phone them and be like, "We have this money, we just want to give it to you," I would really appreciate it, because I don't know if where we're So originally we were emailing a specific person. Since then, I started going through like their generic email, which was just like donor@stjudes.org. So I've sent like 2 emails to, donors, but I'll forward it to you. Yeah, you'll DM me. Perfect. I would appreciate it, because I don't know why, like, the last, this year has just been difficult, right? Like, I just don't know why it's been so difficult. Like, it's a charity raffle. I don't know if it's like they're worried it's like money laundering or whatnot, but like, I'm like, it's a charity raffle. I gave away all the prizes. How can it be money laundering? Like, what is holding up? You can try and call on Monday. I would really appreciate it. So for the Sanguinor squad, would you recommend a squad of 6 with Dante or 3 by themselves? I think you can do whatever you want, right? Like, if I'm making my next list, I'm probably going to run 3 squads of 3. My last list had 3 squads of 3. But I ran earlier this edition 3 and a 9. Sorry, a 3 and a 6 for 9. So I think that 9 is the right number of Sanguinor that you want to be running right now. I mean, you could possibly push 12. I mean, some people will probably push 12. Someone's probably going to win a tournament with 12. Someone will win a tournament with 12, and in the very next data slate, they will go back up in points because someone has spammed them and won a tournament with 12. Right? Like, that is something that will 100% happen. So if you want to run 9 and buy that combat patrol, I think you'd be totally fine doing that, honestly. Is it not worth running 6 with Dante for his buff on the units? The thing about running 6 Sanguinor with Dante is they're a very hard unit to always, like, they're a very hard unit to always make their points back. Like, they have to kill a lot to make, I mean, not so much, like, they were 390 points before, right? They're 350, so it's maybe not as big an issue as it was. But when you have a unit that's 390 points, into certain armies, they will not have any unit that's even close to 390 points. And it's like, cool, this 390 point unit will decimate a 200 point unit, but then it'll be stuck in the open and my opponent will just blow it off the board, right? So that's the tricky part of a big death ball unit, right? Like that is just how, that is the negative part of having a big death ball unit, is like, you will get to a point where like you've got to make a lot of points back to feel like you got value out of that unit, right? Hello, Sealed. How you doing? Oh, Boris, thank you so much for becoming a member, dude. You came in the middle of the charity rant. I'm sorry. Well, it wasn't really a rant. It's just been frustrating for me because it's like I keep emailing and I keep trying to give them money, and just no one seems to want the damn money, and it's like, take the money, just take it. Like why are you making it so difficult for me to give you money? It's literally a donation. And I emailed donors@stjudes.org. Like, if that's not the email address for making a donation, then what the fuck is, you know? Like, it's got to be. So yeah, we'll get there. My last Sanguinor Guard, Last Dragon says, my Sanguinor always gets shot to pieces in the following turn. Yes, so that is the reason that playing 6 of them with Dante is difficult. Because yes, Dante will buff them, and yes, having the buffs on 6 of them is nice, but yes, they do get shot to pieces. In the tournament that I was just at, when I was playing against Blood Angels, he was playing Liberator Assault Group, I was playing Angelic Inheritors, I literally shot his Sanguinor Guard to pieces. In fact, he had 15 Sanguinor Guard in that list, he lost 14 of them in one turn. I mean, I know the weaknesses of Sanguinor Guard, so I know exactly how to deal with them, but I mean, he did lose 14 of his 15 Sanguinor Guard in one turn. That's a pretty, like, if you're playing 40k and you lose 14 of your 15 Sanguinor Guard in one turn, that's pretty darn demoralizing. Like, can you recover from that? I think at that point, I just would be like, oh Jesus, this game's over. And my opponent did actually say, he was like, oh, I think the game's over. Diatome says, I've been having 10 Death Company with a chaplain. You have any tips to run them better? I don't know. I was going to make a video about Death Company this week, actually, Diatome. My 1,000 point list got a 2 squad limit in the app. Is that a thing? I don't really play 1,000 points. Are you limited to 2 of each unit and 1,000 points? I had no idea. Maybe it's a bug with the app. I thought it was just the same 3 unit limit. Oh, there you go. I had no clue. To be honest, dude, you probably shouldn't be running 3 units of Sanguinor Guard and 1,000 points anyway. Your friends will either love you or hate you. Probably hate, right? The last data slate update changed it to 2. Okay, good to know. Good to know. That's probably a good thing, right? Like, there's a reason that there's the 3-point limit in its, or the 3-unit limit, and it's to just stop people spamming one sort of unit, right? I actually thought it would be cool at some point, like for a season, I guess I call it a season, but you know what I mean, like the year, the chapter approved year or whatever you call it. I guess they used to all have funny names like Pariah Nexus or Leviathan. I think this year they've maybe just called it chapter approved 2025-26 or something. I actually don't have the cards yet. I imagine I'll be getting the cards. I think the cards should have been released today, but the store I was getting them for hasn't emailed me, so I assume that means they just don't have them. Apparently there's going to be a lot of people are going to be waiting for the new cards, right? I actually thought it would be cool in the future if they did a season where like people could only take 2 of each unit as a balancing mechanic, or even have a season where people can only take 1 of each unit to really force out balanced army lists. Like if everybody could only take 1 of each unit type, like it would probably help a ton with the overall game balance, because you wouldn't get anyone with like crazy broken stuff. But yeah, I mean, maybe not all the time, but like for a season, I thought that would have actually been kind of cool. Don't be so sure. Remember how long Dante... Yes, well... I didn't get my cards today, so I assume that it'll be a while for me to get my card. Like, I heard that there was big stock issues with these new cards, right? Did anyone get... Were the cards out today? Did anyone actually get... Anyone in chat actually get a set? Like, not you managed to pre-order them. Did anyone actually get a physical set of the new cards today? Like, has anyone got them in their hands? Why are the Death Company foot rules so bad? I mean, good question. Tommy got his cards. Well done, Tommy. Are you the only one? It would be funny if it was just one person out of the 64 people in chat. For a Guilliman proxy, could you not use the 30k Sanguinius? Yeah, well, I mean, for my Guilliman proxy, I'm using the Stone's Dreadnought, but yeah. You can use anything you want, as long as it's the right base size and the model size kind of matches, right? I was actually considering using this, but I think it would be like some serious modeling for disadvantage. Like, look at this guy. He'd be a pretty cool Guilliman. He's actually on a magnet as well. There's a giant fucking magnet. But yeah, I mean, he'd be a good Guilliman. You just would be impossible. Well, it wouldn't actually matter. Like, I was thinking, now that he can be lone operative, it wouldn't really matter, right? Because you would just stand like a little... You just stand the lone operative lieutenant like under his wing, so he can never be targeted. Phil, thanks so much for the 5 in the super chat. Yeah, modelling for disadvantage. Yeah, no shit, right? But this would be a good Guilliman. Yeah. I like modelling for disadvantage. I on the few Sanguinor that I've made for 10th edition, I have put wings on them. I'm like, whatever. My Sanguinor have wings. You know? That's the way I roll. Sanguinor have wings. Because lone operative would be measured to his base, so his wings hanging out like that wouldn't matter. Is that right? I think so. Like, I mean, those wings are too extreme though. That's crazy, right? Staggery guard of wings, and that's final. You are right. Yeah, but you know, a few years ago, I almost bought the Sanguinius from 30k, but yeah, I mean, I guess if you're running Rebute and you want him to be more blending, I think one day I will actually buy that model. Though I have a very big backlog of stuff that I'm still working through at the moment. I need to find like a better way of getting my infantry finished. My new Sangri Guard have wide wings. We're using Crimson Lord wings, Phil, or we're using something else? Like other 3D printed ones? Like I've been using the Crimson Lord jump packs. I think they're pretty nice. I'm glad that I bought them. I managed to cop the Forge World Sanguinius diorama from Warhammer World the other week to go with him. He's fully built and still in the box. What do you mean he's fully built and still in the box? Like, do those two things, the two things you just said, do they not conflict each other? Like, if he's fully built, why is he still in the box? I don't get it. Batch is the only way for mass infantry. Yeah, my problem is work, man. If I didn't have to go to the day job, then I'd get loads of Warhammer 40,000 done, right? I was thinking I should start playing the lottery again. Buy some lottery tickets. Like, how else do you escape the day job, you know? You are the boss and paint at the day job. Yeah, I mean, I know a few people in the chat here that sometimes, like, they do get to paint all day, every day at the day job. My day job is way too busy for that. Like, my day job is so busy that I have to try and, like, mentally stop myself checking emails in the evening, right? Because otherwise I will get sucked back into more and more work. I actually turned off notifications in the evenings because I was like, it was affecting me, like, mental health wise, because it was like I was never getting away from work, right? Does that make sense? So yeah, no, my day job, I am way too busy in my day job. But yeah, if you've got a day job where you can sit and paint, more power to you, I guess. You picked the right career. Maybe. Can a regular Blood Angels captain lead Death Company intercessors? No. I think it would have to be that Death Company captain. It'll say on the Death Company datasheet in the Blood Angels Codex specifically who can lead them, but I'm pretty sure it's just that Death Company captain, or it'll be a chaplain. I don't think they can be led by anything else. Daniel just got back from the Bristol Super, fielded my 18 Bladeguard. How did that go, Daniel? I imagine pretty well. I feel like that 18 Bladeguard is very... it's not meta because not everybody's doing it, but I bet you it's very strong, right? There's a bunch of people it's what's winning the most tournaments for Blood Angels right now. Like spam 18 Bladeguard. Did you have like the 25 jump intercessors as well, or did you just have the Bladeguard? What a shame the Death Company captain is nowhere near as good. Yeah, I mean, we knew that. He's the same points cost, right, Phil? Well, the Death Company captain is 10 points less. Just the Bladeguard with 3 times. Alright, cool. So how did you get on? 18 Bladeguard plus 3 times 5 intercessors. Jump intercessors. I think that's what people were saying that they thought would be very strong. Like, I think that sounds cool. Like, how did you do? What did you like it? Did you not like it? What's the thought process on it? Have you got another day to go? Like, you going back tomorrow? Like, if it's a super major, it's surely a 2-day event, right? I'm on 1 win and 2 losses. No. Okay. I was hoping you were going to be like, I'm 3-0, I'm rocking it. What beat you? If you say Knights and Death Guard, then I will totally understand. Daydreamer says, I have the same problem. I'm selling coach. I'm a selling coach for big banks. Alright, I don't know what that is, but I totally get you, Daydreamer. Like, it's just these last couple of months I've really tried to be making a more of an effort to avoid if something is broken on the weekend, I am happy to deal with it, right? But like, I don't need to be just checking all my regular emails and responding to people for minor stuff on the weekend, because if I respond to that stuff on the weekend, most of the time I'm not getting paid for it, and it digs into my family time, and it like, I just think it doesn't affect me. Like, I just don't feel as rested, or my mental state or something. Like, it's just not good for me. Like, I just need to not be doing it on the weekend. Necrons is Necrons are very, very strong, dude. Well, good for you fielding that. I'd like to hear how you get on at the end. And if you've got any feedback, you can, like, I have yet to play 18 Bladeguard and 15 Jump Intercessors, so if you've got any feedback that you can give on what that actually feels like commanding, I'd love to hear it as well. I think my next list might be 12 Bladeguard and 15 Jump Intercessors. I haven't quite finalised it. I think Ballistus Dreadnoughts are always decent to have. They're cheap, they do reliable damage, they get rerolls baked into their profiles a lot of the time. I've been using Ballistus Dreadnoughts now pretty much since they came out. They were probably the first 2 models that I built from the Leviathan set, and for the most part I've barely run a list in 10th edition without a Ballistus Dreadnought, because they were a bit cheaper. They were 130 points. I thought they were very good for 130. I think they're totally fine at 140. I think when they were 130, that might have been when I won the tournament when I was running with them. But you don't have Vindicators. I have 2 Lancers. Yeah, I was thinking of running the double Lancer as well on my next list, because as much as I do have 2 Vindicator tanks, I feel like I've been running the Vindicator tanks the entire edition, and I have not run my Lancers hardly at all. So I was thinking maybe it's time to get those Lancers out and give them a little bit of love, because I mean, I did buy them and it did you know, they are painted, so... and I think next edition you'll probably have to be forced to use Lancers, because I think I'd be super surprised if Vindicator tanks do not get Legends. Is a Ballistus and a Tech Marine enough to hold my home field objective in 1k? Yeah, I mean, I think that's totally fine. Yeah. I think that would be totally fine. I mean, you could even make an argument that that would be fine in 2k. Maybe not quite fine, but against some matchups it would be fine. I like Tech Marines when vehicles die next to them as well. They become pretty strong. For 55 points, like, they get a boatload of attacks. They can get 9 attacks. 55 points. 9 2 damage attacks, 55 points. It's very good. Are we going back to Double Barrel? I don't play Double Barrel. I own Double Barrel, but I've never actually played it. I bet you some people go back to Double Barrel. I think one of the combos that was seen as very, very strong was Double Barrel, double Vindicator. But no, I really want to go away from Vindicator tanks. I mean, I've played them this edition. I've enjoyed them this edition. But I'm also kind of feeling like I'm done with them this edition, right? Maybe I was going to say, maybe things will change. Oh my, thank you for subscribing. I do appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. What do I base my models with? Armageddon Dust. It's this one, right? The texture paint. So Armageddon Dust, then Agrax Earthshade, then a dry brush of Tyrant Skull. I assume you know what Agrax Earthshade looks like, because that's pretty common. Tyrant Skull is this dry, it's like a white. Oh, Antonius, let us know on how you get on tomorrow against Dark Angels. The Mighty Quinn says, I just started collecting Blood Angels last week in this channel and its Discord are awesome. Welcome, Mighty Quinn. Thanks for the kind comment, dude. I'm glad that you found us. Always nice to see new people. Like, I like seeing my regulars, but it is really nice to see new people, and it's nice to see new people when they get involved in chat. So please do chat. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Even I don't know the fucking rules, honestly. Like, I gotta ask you guys in chat. You keep me right, so don't ever feel like don't ever feel like you can't ask anything, because I ask you guys. This game is a complicated little bastard some of the time, you know? So welcome. I didn't know there's a Discord yet. Exclamation mark Discord, and my bot, assuming my bot isn't taking the night off, because sometimes he does, he'll put the link in chat for you. Only DTM knows the rules. Well, that's the thing that I find funny, is like, we play the game every week, and then just this week past, the game, me against Andrew, there was like 3 rule interactions. I'm like, dude, how can there be 3 rule interactions that we don't know the answer for, when we've been playing 10th edition for like 2 years at this point, right? Like, it is a complicated game. Do you like any of the Successor chapters? I mean, sure, I've got a Gabriel Seth. I'm pretty sure I've played Flesh Tears on the channel, actually. But, like, are they a passion of mine the same as Blood Angels? No, I guess they're not, right? But no, I've got Seth. I'm pretty sure I've played Flesh Tears on the channel. I'm pretty sure I've made a few videos about Flesh Tears as well. Hey, final
I
boss!
have awoken.
Welcome! Thank you so much for becoming a member, dude. I appreciate it. That's another new name. We're adding to the Legion. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, in Discord, what you do is you link your what do? You go into settings in Discord and you click the button to link your YouTube account to Discord, and then you get access to the members only room. So you want to go into your Discord settings. You know how like sometimes you would like set Discord where you can like link your Facebook account for logging in quicker or anything like that. You link up your YouTube account or your Google account, and then you get access to our members only room. So do that. Blood drinkers. Oh yeah, I remember the old Successor chapters for sure. I did like how they put different Successor chapter transfers in that new Death Company box, because I feel like more recently they've been really lackluster with the transfers. So I thought that was like a pretty nice touch, right? Like the Death Company Army List set box had like Angels, was it Vermilion in there? And some other Successor chapter, and normally we don't get anything for like in terms of decals, normally we just don't get anything for the Successor chapters. Hey, the bot is awake. There you go. Nice to see a fellow Scot. I didn't even know you were Scottish, dude. Where are you from? I'm trying to kit bash Gabriel Angelos. That is the chapter master of the Blood Ravens, right? Didn't he get a model? I mean, I think there's a Forge World model you can buy for Gabriel Angelos, right? It's been a long time since I played what was that? It's not Empire at War, sorry. Dawn of War. Oh, so if you're just outside Glasgow near Stirling, are you familiar with Common Ground Games then? Because I've been to tournaments at Common Ground Games. That's in Stirling, by the way. You probably are. His model was removed? Was it? Why? Maybe you find it on eBay or something. You can't buy it legitimately anymore? Why is that then? That doesn't really make sense to me, but okay. Dude, I want to say this could be weird, but I use dude gender agnostic. Right? Is that like I will call my wife dude? Is that weird? I'm trying to think if I've ever called my daughter dude. But if you took that as an offense, then I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to. But yeah, personally, I do call dude. I use dude gender agnostic. So please don't take offense if you did take offense. Maybe it's the year that I grew up in. Like, I just didn't. I don't know. I just call everybody dude. I'd also maybe sometimes even say guys gender agnostic, but dude makes more sense to be gender agnostic. You know, guys maybe not so much. But yeah. Sorry about that. Dude, Where's My Car? I do love that movie. Dude, I've not seen that movie in so many years. It's such a stupid movie as well. God. It does make me chuckle though. Do you remember the scene? And then? It's like, and no and then. That's the sort of thing my 3-year-old would say to me. I'm worried now. Final boss is going completely No? Okay. We're good? Please say we're good. But you know, my wife doesn't care if I call her dude. But I would more likely be like, oh, dude, you know, like, I don't know, like, let's just say, like, I'm trying to think, like, this week my kid ran into the wall and we had to go to the emergency room, you know? So, and my wife told me, like, oh, Michael's run into a door and we need to go to the emergency room. I'd be like, oh, dude, you know, like... So yeah, my wife was at the emergency room at like 11 PM at night this week. So we had that. Swear to God, man, like, kids. Have you watched the Hellreach movie on YouTube? I have not. Is that an official one or is that third party or what? I think it would be cool to make Gabriel from Dawn of War as a kit bash. I feel sad that they take some of those old models off sale though, right? Like, I get they're maybe not popular and they don't get ordered that much, but I guess maybe you'll come back as made to order. Maybe that's what'll happen. I think it's nice they do bring stuff back on made to order. I think that's good. So maybe maybe you can wait and get one made to order at some point. I must admit though, I don't... If I'm watching YouTube, I'm usually watching, like, for example, like this week, I watched a bit of Art of War talk about the balanced data slate. So I watch other YouTube channels that talk about Blood Angels and stuff because I don't want to be out of the loop on that stuff and then someone will say something to me and be like, oh, John, don't you know Art of War said that Blood Angels are best because of X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, no, I don't know that because I didn't watch their video. So, I don't watch lore content. Like, I know there's a lot of good lore creators, but that's not something that I spend my time. I watch the competitive creators speak so that I know what's happening in the competitive space more, so I can give my opinion on that. Does that make sense? So yeah, I guess it sucks if you guys want me to watch like some content that's like lower or whatever, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to be uninformed when it comes to competitive stuff. So like, I watched the balanced data slate video that Art of War made because I wanted to see what those guys, like, those guys are the pros, right? Like, I'm not a pro. Those guys will go to all the big tournaments every year, they win the tournaments, they do whatever, you know? So, I watch them, right? Evening, Gordon. How you doing? Mr. Kazumi, good evening. My son picked up Black Templars after that film. Well, do you know what? Yeah, I suppose I need to watch it with my kids. My kids are still a bit young for Warhammer. We're just getting into Transformers, actually. So maybe like a few years, I'll get watching a bit more lore with my kids, maybe. No better way to start a Sunday. Well, good morning to you in Australia or New Zealand. Where are you? You're a valued pro to me. Matthew, you're too kind. A valued pro. I don't know, man. You guys are very kind. Okay. Alright, I can't stay too much longer because if I do, my wife will Well, she might not kill me, but she is expecting me to go spend a little bit of time with her. So maybe like 10 more minutes. Did I say that already? Probably. Death Company versus Dreadnought, they are the same at 160 points. I think it's still got to be the Ballistus Dreadnought. We talked about this, the Brutalis Dreadnought, sorry. I think we talked about this a tiny little bit on the stream. The Brutalis Dreadnought will always give you OC and will most of the time do mortal wounds on the charge. I think that makes up for anything that the Death Company Dreadnought can provide. What does the Death Company Dreadnought do? He surge moves away from the character he needs to be near to have OC. Right? I mean, that's breaking it down pretty horribly, but I think that's probably kind of true. 1,000 point list for Warhammer World with mates in August. 2 Death Company Dreadnoughts, 10 jump with Lamartas, 10 jump with Astrath, 10 assault with a captain. Would it be worth swapping out a Death Company Dread for Ballistus? Good question. I like having shooting support in Blood Angels. I think it's important because if you're fighting against enemies that have all their units inside transports and you do not have an effective, like, you need I only talked about this the other night for the first time probably. Like, you need to be a multi-phase army for dealing with enemy transports. And what I mean by a multi-phase army is if you can only kill the enemy transport in the charge phase, then you have a big problem, because you'll kill it in the charge phase and everything it was protecting inside will spill out and then kill you in its turn. So you need, in a Blood Angels army, the ability to blow up a transport in the shooting phase so that you can then charge what's inside it in the charge phase and kill both the transport and the unit inside. And you need to be able to do that, I think, in one turn. If you cannot do that in one turn, then you will have some problems into certain armies and or matchups, and there is no magic fix for that, right? Like, if you are not able to kill them across 2 phases, then you just have a problem. And we used to be able to kill them very effectively across 2 phases, because our Death Company used to be armed with like a crap load of Infernal pistols. And a crap load of Infernal pistols used to do a bunch of damage to a transport and then blow it up, and then you could fight what's inside, right? And you want to do that in one turn. So yeah, I think if you do not have any shooting that can blow up a transport, and a Ballistus Dreadnought is pretty good at blowing up transports, right? Like 2 las cannons, 2 missiles, there's definitely a chance you can blow up a transport from full health with that. In fact, at a tournament I was at, I blew up a fucking orc bandwagon. No, not a bandwagon. The big battle wagon, that's it. Like, it's toughness 12, it's like 16 wounds, it's like permanent armor of contempt, it had cover. I blew it up, like, from one turn, 40 odd inches away with a Ballistus Dreadnought. Just rolled like a double 6 for the damage on the las cannons, 14 damage straight away, and then the missile chips off the last 2 wounds or something, right? It was bonkers. It was absolutely bonkers. But it just showed me that, like, yeah, Ballistus Dreadnoughts can spike and kill anything, anywhere. You know, and they have great range. The Hellreach movie on YouTube is the audiobook narrated. Some guy created an animation to go along with the audiobook. How long is it then? Someone link it to me. Someone put it in my Discord and I'll watch it. Unless it's like 8 hours long. But yeah, so Blood Angels used to be almost like a 2-phase army by default, just because Sanguinor used to have crap loads of Infernal pistols. Death Company used to have crap loads of Infernal pistols. Losing all that has, in some ways, made you a more 1-phase army. And I think you need that 2-phase... Because if I play against orcs, and they're like an all-melee detachment, and I've got a couple of transports, I'm laughing. I just roll my transports onto the objectives, and I'm like, well, sure, you can kill the transport, but you'll never be able to kill the transport and the guys inside. And when you kill the transport, all my guys will pop out, and then they'll just countercharge you next turn, and I'll be living my best life, right? Like, I kind of like fighting orcs sometimes, because I feel like Blood Angels are very well set up to deal with orcs. You can give Infernal pistols to Vanguard Veterans, yeah, but no one, up until, like, up until the balance status late this week, right, nobody cared about Vanguard Vets. I don't know if people will care about them now. But yeah, no one was caring about them before, I guess, right? Like, I guess that was a points thing mainly. I'm not a big fan of the Grav pistols just because what happens when you play against Monster Mash. And Monster Mash is a... If you're not familiar with what I mean by Monster Mash, I basically mean like a demon list that's just got like fucking 7 greater demons in it. It won't be quite... It'll be like 5 greater demons and then like 3 squads of nerdlings or some nonsense. Or 3 squads of bloodletters or something that will score them some points, right? Monster Mash demons is a thing, and it is a difficult thing sometimes to deal with, and Grav pistols don't help you in that situation at all. So that's why I would avoid the Grav pistols and go Infernal pistols, because at least Infernal pistols are more universal than the Grav pistols, right? And I find fighting Monster Mash lists pretty difficult. Blood Angels don't have a ton of toughness. Highland Phoenix says Sternguard plus Tigris or Heavy Intercessors plus Draxus. I don't know. Low AP on the Grav pistol hurts them as well. Firstborn are toxic? What do you mean Firstborn are toxic? I mean, there's nothing wrong with Firstborn except they're gonna get Legendsed. And the only reason they're getting Legends is to make money, right? Like, to resell new Space Marines to Space Marine players. There's no real reason they need to be Legends, is there? There's not like a lore reason that they need to be Legends. I don't at least I don't think so. Like, I mean, in a lore standpoint, it wouldn't really make sense because these, like, Space Marine chapters will have these guys deployed all over the entire galaxy. They're not going to be like, oh, by the way, all you Vanguard veterans, the whole squads of them, let's just kill you guys off so we can replace you with new Space Marines. Why would they do that? It doesn't make any sense. They wouldn't do that. It'd be like genocide of the firstborn Space Marines. It wouldn't make sense. There's no low reason that units need to be Legends, right? Lower reason they're all dead. They're not all dead, Phil. I mean, they're all dead. Every Vanguard is like that bit in Order 60, Order 66 for the friggin' Firstborn Marines. Yeah, the Emperor of Mankind has morphed from the Emperor into the actual Emperor from Star Wars, and he's decided that we're gonna end the line of the Firstborn. Yeah, that would like, you know how people are always people are always making fun of like AI and AI slop, like it makes sloppy images and makes sloppy videos. That would be a good one. Like, get AI to make a video where the Emperor on his golden throne somehow you could honestly just have the AI. You don't remember that bit in episode 8 or something where they're like, somehow Palpatine returned. Somehow the Emperor has returned, but he's returned as Emperor Palpatine, and he's got a vendetta against all Firstborn Marines, you know? And the AI video is just Darth Vader wandering around, like, slaughtering. You know that corridor scene where he's slaughtering all the rebels? It's just that, but all the rebels are just, like, tactical marines and devastators and Vanguard veterans. Anyone that's Firstborn is in that corridor, and There's a sloppy AI video of Vader just walking down, you know, and like rather than like you know, they're trying to protect the plans in that video rather than protecting the plans, they're like, protect the gene seed. I don't know, man. Yeah, there is no reason that Firstborn Marines needed, like, they still exist. They're still out there in the galaxy. They're still fighting the good fight. There's no reason for it. All the all the Vanguard veterans went and fought Forge Fiends. Insert, they're all dead. Yeah, I mean, any Marines that are fighting Forge Fiends at the moment are pretty much dead, right? Like, I thought it was bonkers that they left those Forge Fiends with the rules that they are at the moment in the balance data slate. I'm like, oh my god, I guess they just haven't... I guess Games Workshop designers haven't just played Marines against Forge Fiends, because that's bonkers, right? Somehow Sanguinius returned? Yeah, exactly. That's all we need. Somehow Sanguinius returned. It's just Dante standing around a table. Yeah, there's no legit reason for them to be legends. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. I don't think Astaroth can be swapped in your list, by the way, because I don't think you've got anyone that... Dante only attaches to Jump Intercessors and Sangre Guard. Tactical Marine, I'm doing my part. Yeah, exactly. The rumour that I heard, Harold and Bob, is that... And it's just a rumour, and... you know, I guess rumours you really got to take with a pinch of salt, because there is so many rumours about 40k at the moment, and so many of them are true and so many of them are untrue. But what I have heard is that there's going to be an 11th edition box set for the new edition, and it's going to be Space Marines against Orcs again. We definitely haven't done against Orcs for a while, right? Because like 10th edition was against Nids. 9th edition was Space Marines against Necrons. 8th edition was against Death Guard. So I don't remember what 7th or 6th was. I think 5th was Blackreach, which was Orcs, because I have Blackreach. So I don't know what the launch editions were for 6 and 7. That was when I was out of the hobby. But sorry, back on point. What I have heard, or what I heard, was that we are going to have Space Marines against Orcs, and that means we'll get new updated Vanguard Veterans as Primaris. We'll get new Assault Terminators in that box set, and I have also heard that maybe, and this is just complete rumours that I've heard, maybe there'll be like new Outriders or a new mounted Space Marine unit. That's what I've heard. But I have no source on any of this. It's just what I've heard. I mean, I think Vanguard Veterans and Assault Terminators would make sense, because those units are old and very few people have been playing them, and Assault Terminators are just generally really bad. Like, their rules just stink. So them getting updated would probably make sense. Vanguard Veterans as well, I feel like because they're wielding those heirloom weapons, it would make sense, because I think heirloom weapons are just a bit poor. And then Outriders, like, they are mounted, you know, like there is like the White Scars who had lots of different bikes, and that they have none of that now. I think Space Marines do need at least a different type of Outrider squad with a better weapon than just chainswords. So I sort of think that maybe there's something to be said to that, but I don't know, right? Like, it's just rumors that I have heard. Remember, there was an entire rumor about like Blood Angels being the 10th edition box set, right? Like, Blood Angels were going to be the 10th edition box set, and there was going to be Assault Terminators in that box set. You know, so there was a giant rumor there that just just came out of nowhere. It had like no tangible source, but like it had blown up all over the internet. So take the rumor content as a grain of salt, right? It's too bad how iconic they are. The Space Marine Terminators don't get played more this edition, says the Mighty Quinn. Yeah, I mean, I think I tried Terminators once this entire edition. Do you know what? Some people do play them. But I found them super underwhelming. I kind of like the new, the Space Wolf Terminators. Like, the rules on those Wolfguard Terminators are actually pretty nice. Like, if the new Assault Terminators had similar rules to the Wolfguard, I think they might be pretty cool, but, I don't know. The Wolfguard have that nice rule where, like, if you hit them with higher strength, then it's -1 to wound. So most of the time you'd be -1 to wound the Terminators. So most of the time you'd probably only be wounding them on like 4s. I kind of like that. I think it's pretty cool. I think it gives them durability. I think Terminators should be durable. I think they're not really at the moment. So I think that would be cool. Do you think the Blood Angels captain is worth playing now? He's definitely better. Definitely a lot better, I would say. Worth playing? I mean, if you're gonna put a captain in an impulsor and do that sort of shenanigans, then yes, probably. Even if Outriders just got a multi-part kit, that would be a big win for Outriders, right? Like, I was really surprised when they released the kit that they didn't do multi-part. Like, really surprised. Because there's only so far 3 guys with Strength 4 chainswords go, right? The Blood Angels captain should be able to take a jump pack. Yeah, I mean, I think that if they'd given a Blood Angels captain, that might have just got more play than this Death Company captain. That your last model has reversed pauldrons. Yeah, I made a bit of a conversion to him. I know. I didn't have the right. The right chess piece or whatever, right? Like, I was just working with what I had left over from another kit, so it was a bit of a kit bash. So yes, one of the guys indeed has a giant pauldron on him, basically to hide the mess of plastic underneath, because I didn't have the right kit. I'd used that kit to convert something, I guess, previously, and then only now realised that I needed it. I think I used one of the Sternguard bodies to make a Sangri Priest. I think that's what it was. So I didn't think that I would need the Sternguard. Like, I had no intention of building them, I guess. But it turns out they're actually really good. Any thoughts on the new Death Company units? I'm going to make a video on Death Company this week, Daniel. I just haven't... It'll be like the Friday video. Does anyone make a kit to give Sanguinor wings? Yes, they're called Crimson Lords. I've done a few videos on them, so if you search Blood Angels Commander Crimson Lords, you would find it. You can buy them here in the US. Sorry, not in the US. You can buy them in the UK or the US. I probably have... I probably have some. It wasn't against Nurgle, it was against Deathguard. 8th edition was against Deathguard. Yeah, I've got one right here. I just put my light off. I'm going in a minute, but yeah. There's a set of a jump back with wings attached. That's Crimson Lords. That's what they are. They're pretty nice. I've got them on a couple of models. You can get them 3D printed, or you can just buy them. If you're in the UK, the place that sells them, that does the highest quality ones, I think, it's called Archie's Forge. Stalin says, just got back from an Apocalypse game, 1500 points of Eldar, Chaos betrayed the Imperium halfway through. I got some models that I don't often get to use. Isn't that... Yeah, that's why I'm really enjoying playing... that's why I'm really enjoying playing Stormlands, because I'm getting to use a bunch of models that I normally don't get to play. And that can be a fun thing. Guys, I need to go, so I'll see you guys 8 PM tomorrow night if you want to come and hang out for the Armyless show. If not, then I'll probably see you later this week. Maybe we'll be live on Wednesday, I don't know. I'll try and get an opponent for Wednesday. I'll try and play a new Blood Angels list. But regardless, there'll be a tactics video out this week about Death Company. Thanks so much for all the support tonight. There's been loads of support tonight. This has been the best stream I've done in ages. There's been loads of new members, there's been loads of super chats, or at least loads relative to me, right? Like, I'm not Chapter Master Balric, I'm not getting hundreds. But it felt like there's loads to me, so I do really appreciate it. Guys, I hope you have a great evening. Thanks for hanging out. I'll be here next Saturday. I'll be here hopefully Wednesday night, and there'll be a new Death Company video coming out. I'm going to play Lag this week probably, but it doesn't mean that I'm giving up on Stormlands. I've played Stormlands twice. I did 90 points plus both games. I really enjoyed it. Obviously spent the whole evening painting Stormlands models. So I probably am going to play Stormlands again. I'm just going to make a new Blood Angels list and see how I feel. If I feel like I'd rather do that. Because I've got a tournament at the beginning of August. So I've got about 8 weeks. So Firestorm for Blood Angels. I can't get excited about Firestorm. I haven't seen it do well. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Blueberry Cheesecake, I do appreciate it. Tomahawk, guys, really enjoyed hanging out. We'll see you 8 PM tomorrow night if you want to hang out and look at some army lists. Do those wings fit on Dante? Unfortunately, I don't know. But maybe if you sign up to the Discord, somebody in Discord will be able to, someone will be able to tell you. Maybe someone in Discord has done that. So, alright. Take it easy, guys. Have a nice evening. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.